Today I am trying to teach you lesson 5 at page 37 in your textbook. It is included in the second summative evaluation for you. The name of the story here is Our Runaway Kite. Lucy Maud Montgomery is the writer here. You have a few lines on the introduction of the story, a short note on the writer, and the other is on the text. I am directly entering Unit 1. I am giving you the synopsis of the lesson, and at the same time I am trying to tell you some English meanings of the unknown words. Please note. Of course, there was nobody for us to play with on the big half moon. That is, the writer here is stating that they had none to play in the big half moon. Of course means absolutely, certainly. We just had to make the most of each other, and we did. That is, they had to utilize the chance between them, that is the narrator and her brother, and they utilized it properly. We live on the big half moon island. They were the inhabitants of the big half moon island. We are father and Claude and I, Aunt Esther and Mimi and Dick. There were 6 members. Father, Claude, the narrator, Aunt Esther, Mimi and Dick. It used to be only father and Claude and I, but actually there were 3 members, the narrator, her brother and father. It is all on account of the kite that there are more of us, and here it is possible, or the kite made it possible to reunite the family. This is what I want to tell you about, and here the narrator is stating the incident. Father is the keeper of the big half moon lighthouse. The narrator's father was in charge of the big half moon lighthouse. Lighthouse is a pole having beam of light in order to guide and show direction to the ships near the harbor, near the coast. I am 11 years old. The narrator is 11 years old. Claude is 12, and her brother Claude is senior to her by 1 year. In winter, when the harbor is frozen over, we all move over to the mainland. During the winter, it is not possible to live in that island, so they had to harbor to the mainland. As soon as spring comes, back we sail to our own dear island, but at the advent of spring, they return to their dear island, big half moon. The funny part used to be the people always pitied us when the time came for us to return, but when the time for them came to return on the island, people took pity on them. They said we must be lonesome over there with no other children near us. It was the opinion of the people of the mainland that we must be boring because we would get none or no children near us to play with us. Of course, Claude and I would have liked to have someone to play with us. It was also liking of both the narrator and her brother to have playmate. It is hard to run to pirate caves and things like that with only 2. It was not possible to play pirate caves and like other things with only two members, but we used to quarrel a good deal with the mainland children in winter, but they got a chance to dispute with the mainland children in winter. So it was perhaps just as well that there were none of them on the big half moon, but they did not get back those playmates in the big half moon. Claude and I never quarreled. The two characters, Claude and the narrator, never quarreled. To be sure, father didn't seem to have any relations except us. The narrator was sure that there was no other relation except them. This used to puzzle Claude and me. They were bewildered by this idea that they had no relation. Everybody on the mainland had relations, but they experienced different experience in the mainland. Why hadn't we? Was it because we lived on an island? Then they tried to find out the reason why they had no relation. We thought it would be so jolly to have an uncle and aunt and some cousins. It was their opinion that if they had such relations, they would be happy. Once we asked father about it, but he looked so sorrowful that we wished we hadn't. Once they asked their father about it, but their father seemed to be very sad. That's why they thought that they should not have asked him about it. He said it was all his fault. Their father admitted that he himself was faulty for it. Claude and I didn't understand what he meant. At that time, Claude and the narrator could not realize what their father signified. Now we are entering Unit 2. It is always lovely on that big half moon in summer, but during the summer it was very pleasant in the big half moon. When it is fine, the harbor is blue and calm, with little wind and ripples. During the summer, the harbor became very quiet, very pleasant. There were only little wind and ripples, that is the very small wind. Every summer we had some hobby, so during the summer they got a chance to run after their hobby. The last summer before Dick and Mimi came, we were crazy about kites. During last summer, the narrator and her brother became very desperate, very maddened about kites. A boy on the mainland showed Claude how to make them. A boy living in the mainland taught Claude how to make a kite. Back on the island, we made plenty of kites. Returning to the big half moon, they had plentiful of kites, or they made a lot of kites. Claude would go around to the other side of the island, and we would play secret mariner signaling to each other with kites. And they played with the kite by sending signals or indicating to each other with the help of kites. We had a kite that was big and covered with lovely red paper. They made a paper kite and covered it with beautiful red paper. We pasted gold tinsel stars all over it. They decorated with the tinsel stars all over it and had written our names on full on it. Claude lit and Philippa lit big half moon lighthouse. Not only that, they also wrote their full name and address on the Their title was Lit, or their surname was Lit. and the narrator here is Philappa Litt. One day there was a grand wind for kite flying. One day there was a good or favorable wind for kite flying. I am not sure how it happened, but as I was bringing the kite from the house, I tripped and fell over the rocks. But there was an accident. The narrator stumbled and fell over the rocks while bringing the kite from the house. My elbow went clear through the kite, making a big hole. As a result, her elbow made a big hole in the kite, and you know that it is not possible it is not possible to fly a kite if there is a hole in the kite. We had to hurry to fix the kite if we wanted to send it up before the wind fell. Before falling off the wind, if they wanted to send or fly the kite in the sky, they must repair it instantly. We rushed into the lighthouse to get some paper. They went to the lighthouse in order to get some paper to repair the hole. We knew there was no more red paper, but no red paper remained. We took the first thing that came handy, so we took the help of the paper that was available. An old letter lying on the bookcase in the sitting room. They took an old letter that was stored in the sitting bookshelf of the sitting room. We passed the kite up with the letter, a sheet on each side, and dried it by the fire. Then they repaired it with the sheet of letter and withered it by taking it to the fire. We started out and up went the kite like a bird, but after it their kite flew in the sky like a bird. The wind was glorious and it showed. The wind was glorious means the wind was very favorable and the kite soared there or in the sky like a bird. All at once, immediately snap, and there was Claude standing with a bit of cord in his hand. But another accident happened. The kite was snapped and there was only a bit of cord in Claude's hands, looking foolish, and it made him look foolish. Our kite had sailed away over to the mainland, and their kite went to the mainland. Thus, it became a runaway kite. Now we are entering Unit 3. A month later, a letter came for father, and after a month of it, the narrator's father received a letter. After he finished reading it, his eyes looked as if had been crying. After finishing the letter, the narrator's father's eyes moistened. There were teardrops in his eyes. "Do you want to know what became of your kite?" he said. He asked, or the narrator's father asked them if they wanted to know what happened to their kite. Then he sat down beside us and told us the whole story. Then, sitting beside the narrator and her brother, their father narrated him the entire story. Father had a brother and a sister. It is the family history. Their father had a brother and a sister. He had quarreled with his brother and left home. After having a quarrel with his brother, their father left the home. Years afterward, he felt sorry, and when he went back, he found his brother had died and he couldn't find his sister. After some time, their father went back home, but he found to his horror that his brother had died and he could not track his sister. The letter father had just received was from his sister Aunt Esther, mother of Dick and Mimi, and now the sender of the letter to the narrator's father was his sister, that is the narrator's aunt. Her name was Aunt Esther, and Dick and Mimi were the narrator's cousins. She was a widow who lived hundreds of miles inland. Aunt Esther was a widow, and she lived in the miles inland. One day when Dick and Mimi were out in the woods, they discovered the kite on top of a tree and carried it home. Incidentally, the letter or the kite bearing the letter was found by Dick and Mimi upon a tree in the woods. When their mother saw the kite passed with the letter, she turned pale. She became very pale because she could know the history of the kite. It was the very letter she had once written to her brother. It was the same letter written by her to her brother, that is the narrator's father. Philippa was her mother's name and Claude was her father's. This was the identity of their father and mother. She knew who we must be. So their aunt or Aunt Esther was able to know the identity of the sender of the kite. So she sat down and wrote a big half moon, and father received the letter. This, as a result, as a consequence, the narrator's father got the letter. Next day, father went and brought Aunt Esther and Dick and Mimi with him. Next day, father went to the mainland in order to fetch APTCS, Aunt Esther and Dick and Mimi. They have been here ever since. From then, they accompanied or they lived with them. Aunt Esther is dear and Dick and Mimi are too jolly for words. Aunt Esther was very dear to them, and Mimi and Dick were so happy that words fail to describe it. But the best of it all is that we have relations now, and as a result, or the most desired result, is that the narrator and Claude had then relations. So it was possible through the runaway kite to have a reunion of the family. This is the gist of the story.